Previously on Rolls of Fate Evergrove.
Seuss is up in their room, sitting at their laptop, email open. They have it sent to someone they haven't talked to in probably years. Dear, my brother from another mother. I know it's been a while. I'm thinking I want to reconnect with people in my life. I would love it if you could come over. The car pulls up and you hear a knock at the door.
Evie can answer the door.
He is fairly pale, has a kind of an undercut, red hair, brown eyes.
No! He immediately starts panicking.
Damian looks right at you and he says, hey there, I'm Damian. What's your name?
I'm Briar. It's nice to meet you. Briar just rushes right past him, pretending not to know him. That just set him off. That is exactly how Damian would have dealt with that. You played that perfectly.
So, last we left off, you guys finished the current mystery. You saved people from the succubus. Congratulations. No more people died. Only, I think, 3 people died? Yeah, only 3 people died. Which actually, now that I think about it, oh no, Nathaniel. Nathaniel probably killed the most people.
Yeah.
But you guys couldn't stop that because that happened before you arrived.
Yeah.
Included the current mystery, you saved probably the town for the most part, maybe the world, who fucking knows. And no one extra died, and then,
I mean, the bar person kind of died. The nameless bar person.
Yeah, the nameless.
Kinda died.
Yeah, nameless bar person. Kinda died a little bit, but you know.
Only a little bit.
Died. Just a little
Slightly
bit.
dead. Don't
Only a
worry
little bit.
about it.
Not so much, it's fine.
Okay, so last we left off, Damian arrived in town as he was introduced as Seuss's almost brother. Through some unfortunate events, was unable to actually become adopted by their family. This is his actual first time in Evergrove, and this is also the first time he's met Grandma Joan. He did not have the chance to meet her. So we left off directly after Damian introduced himself to the folks in the living room.
And Briar was like, fuck this shit, I'm out. I'm going to my room with my sister.
And why exactly was Briar so upset?
Yes, do tell.
Well, how would you feel if your ex pretended like he didn't even know you?
I would feel like they're an asshole, so there's that.
Yeah. So, like, he just gets into his room, and he puts his sister on the bed, and, like, he's still stewing a little bit, but after, like, a moment, he's like, I'm sorry, Noelle, I shouldn't have
Noella?
dragged you. No, thank you.
Continue.
Sorry, Noella, I shouldn't have dragged you out of the living room. I'm sorry about that.
It's okay. I wanted to draw anyway. I don't like drawing specific things in front of other people. So I want to draw in here.
Okay. You want me to leave you alone? I was gonna take a walk. You can stay in here and draw if you want.
If you want to leave, you can go. I'll be fine.
Okay.
And she smiles at you with her big 5-year-old smile and her big 5-year-old eyes and her adorableness.
And Briar is like smiling, but it's a very obviously like nervous smile. He's like, okay, you just stay here, stay safe. And he just places a kiss on the top of her forehead. It's like, have fun, Noella. I'll be back later, okay? I love you.
Love you too. And
Okay.
she just starts drawing.
So Briar just goes and takes a walk outside. He just wants to be outside and not in the house right now.
Okay.
He needs space and air to think.
Is there any specific place he's going, or is he just wandering?
I think he's probably just, I mean, it's a farm, so he's probably just wandering around the property.
Okay, understandable. Runs into many dogs, some pigs, some sheep, some cows. They're generally, like, kind of free range, and they kind of can just wander around the farm wherever they'd like. You do see the old barn, which Seuss and Grandma Joan have been working on fixing up, and they have made it so that it's kind of, well, there's probably multiple barns. There's one barn for, like, the livestock, and then there was an old barn that Seuss and Grandma Joan fixed up, and they kind of turned it into a hangout area, and you assume from what you've heard from Seuss that that's where them and Damian are going to be spending a lot of their time, but at the moment they are inside the house.
Briar's just, he has a lot to think about, and as I have made clear in a previous session, whenever he feels like he has to have a talk with someone, he will rehearse it for hours. So he's doing that in his head, just walking around, just trying over and over again to be like, okay, this is what I'm going to say. This is what I'll say. This is what I'll say.
Okay, understandable, valid. Moss and Evie, what are you two doing? Keep in mind, Evie, you've seen Damian.
Yeah.
Moss has not seen Damian at Grandma Jones yet.
Okay.
And
Probably
Moss knows what Evie doesn't. Evie just saw Briar look at Damian, get pissed, and then walk away.
So yeah, that is what you saw.
Okay.
You know nothing about what's going on there.
I know nothing usually, but now I know extra nothing.
Mood. Big mood.
Evie, you get a notification on your phone.
I check it.
It is an Instagram message from Z. It says, trying to convince Elle to bring us down there to visit, but she's being annoying, as they are. Do you have any idea what time would work for you? Because I really want to see you again, Z.
Evie kind of looks at it for a second, rereads it once or twice, and then replies with, whenever is fine. We're not doing very much.
Okay.
Yeah, that's
Moss,
kind of it.
where's Moss right now?
Yes, Moss. Where is Moss?
I'd assume just in their room.
Okay. You probably heard the door open.
I don't care.
Or you maybe heard Damian's voice,
Moss
but
don't care.
Damian's voice that I'm still gonna need to work on.
Just be dramatic and gay.
Wow, that's
Would I
so,
recognize the
that's
voice?
so difficult for me to do. I am definitely not dramatic and gay. No way. That's not true. God. Do you guys have anything you want to do today? Other than Briar, who's just gonna avoid the house? What are you two doing, Evie and Moss? Also, there is a cat in the house now. There's Cream Puff, who's...
I love Cream Puff.
Cream Puff seems to just be glued to Noella. Wherever Noella goes, he goes. It's very cute.
The
Sorry.
cat's in Briar's room right now with Noella.
With Noella, as Noella is drawing.
God damn it.
What are you guys doing? Other than muttering about saying God damn it while playing Animal Crossing?
Don't call me out like this, Lindsay.
I can see what you're doing! I also didn't know you could place designs down on the bridge.
Well, now you know.
You know. Anyway, what are you doing?
I don't know. I'm trying to delete a design off the friggin' thing because it won't let
What
me.
is Evie doing?
Yeah, what's Evie doing? Not Ren.
I don't know.
Okay.
Evie's playing Animal Crossing.
Evie is probably very confused about what just happened.
Is she gonna go in and question anyone? Or is she gonna leave them alone?
Screw it. Let's go find Briar and question him.
Okay.
I don't care.
Yeah, because Briar's bitchy, but he's not usually that bitchy.
You do kind of look into the living room and you can see Seuss and Damian kind of hanging out, and it gives you just a little twang, like you missed something that you had once, similar to that.
Okay.
So you gonna go find Briar?
Yeah.
He's talking to himself under his breath. Just walking around the farm, talking to himself under his breath.
You do find him somewhere on the farm, muttering to himself.
Awesome. Briar, what the fuck are you doing?
Don't sneak up on a lady like that. Jesus fucking Christ, kid.
Did you not hear me walk up?
No, I'm a little occupied right now.
I can tell.
What do you want, Evie?
Oh, I was just wondering why you walked away so dramatically after whoever the heck that is came into the house.
He introduced himself.
Oh, right. Damian, or whatever his name is.
Briar kind of just scowls at the name slightly. He's like,
Ooh, so there's history.
I don't really want to talk about it, Evie. I have things that I need to say to him, and I need to figure out how to say those things, which means I need to think about it.
Sounds exciting.
Yeah, totally. Briar looks tense, but also a little bit sad. Just a little.
I don't know how long Evie is gonna bother Briar for. Method of bothering or digging around.
I mean, she might get something if she keeps poking, but she also might just get yelled at. Depending on how she pokes. We'll see. Evie's got a Evie.
Yeah, what is Evie doing?
Evie just kind of looks at Briar for a second and
Yes?
just kind of says, "You don't like him, do you?"
That's a problem, I do.
So you like him, but you're pissed off at him.
Is that obvious?
A little bit.
I wasn't expecting to see him again so soon, if at all. Then again, it's been over a year. Should have been prepared for this.
Interesting.
Is that it? Is Evie leaving?
I'll leave you alone to think about that. And then she leaves and kind of walks away.
Briar goes back to his rehearsing.
Okay, is there anything else you guys want to do, or shall we do a time skip?
Wolf.
Oh yes, what is Wolf doing? Because I don't think Wolf's gotten invited to dinner.
No, he
I
didn't.
feel like
He's
it's just the people in the household who's here for dinner.
Yeah.
Oh.
He's just wandering around town. Does he find anything?
What are you looking for?
I mean, he's not looking for it. It's just gonna be there if it's there.
What's there?
Kind of
That's the
want you to
question.
roll investigate a mystery just to see.
Oh, fucking hell.
Roll plus sharp. But
You
just
mean
anyway.
minus sharp?
Yes, roll minus sharp. What did you roll?
I rolled it in the
Oh my god. Ouch.
Okay, mark experience.
Yay.
Kind of wandering around town for quite a while before you find something that catches your eye. What exactly catches your eye?
It is a orange cat.
Orange.
Orange cat.
Red and I are not the same person, I swear to God.
No, not at all.
Orange cat. Okay.
Orange
And he's
kitty.
just like, oh, kitty. Kitty.
You roll 1d6 for me.
Okay.
For me this time and not for yourself.
Let him love the cat, Lindsay. Oh my god.
Alright.
Oh.
I'll say that's fine. You know from kind of just existing around the apartment complex that they do allow pets. You would have to fill out a form, but you probably can get the cat and then fill out the form.
I think you'll take it to a vet first just to be like, hey, this cat is not diseased or owned by anyone else, correct? So he's going to try and get this cat and take it to a vet to do that. That's his day now, apparently.
Adopt cat.
So you're gonna take the cat to a vet.
Yep.
You know,
Just be like, I
there's-
found the stray cat.
There is a vet in town. They're probably like a mix of a farm vet and a normal vet. And you get there and you are greeted by a fairly young looking woman who she probably looks like she's in her early 20s, and she's sitting at the desk and she has this kind of like messy kind of brown hair and some freckles because I'm a sucker for freckles.
Mood.
And she kind of perks up when you enter and she's like, oh, hello there. How can I help you?
Howdy. I found this cat. It was just kind of wandering. I don't know if it belongs to anyone, but if it doesn't, I mean, I'll keep it. I don't want me on the streets, poor thing.
Oh yeah, of course, I get that. Let me see that little cutie.
And he hands the kitty over.
She takes the kitty and she's just like, oh, you're such a cutie. Let me check and see if they have a chip or anything. And
Thank you.
I think they just have like a scanner kind of thing.
Yeah.
So they scan the kitty where the chip would be, like in the neck, right? Like back of the neck.
Yep.
Yeah, in between the shoulder blades. So she kind of says, well, doesn't look like this kitty's got one, but I can do a checkup for you if you'd like.
I'd appreciate that. Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, of course. Let me, it'll be a little bit, but do you want to come in and, see what's happening?
Oh, yeah. I don't got anything else to do.
So, you do whole vet appointment, and, I don't want to describe vet appointment because I do not know how it goes from the side of the vet, and it all goes well, and she's like, yes, well, this little kitty seems to be, well, they seem to be very healthy and doing well, a little bit, malnourished from living on the streets, but I can tell that they've had, they've been all right. I imagine Seuss would have fed them a little bit from time to time, but I do believe this cat don't have any owner. So I can fill out some paperwork and we can get this all sorted.
I'd appreciate that. Yeah, thank you.
And then you do paperwork, and she's like, what do you think is a good name for this here kitty? That's a weird-ass voice. What do you think is a good name for this kitty? And also, I don't think I've caught your name yet.
Oh, I'm Wolf.
I'm Casey. Nice to meet you.
He shakes her hand. 'Cause I presume that's a thing.
Yes.
And he kind of looks down at the kitty and kind of like scratches between the ears and is like, you look like a mango to me. How do you like that? Mango?
Mango! Oh my god.
I'll
love
take
it.
that as a yes.
I love it.
I think
love
that's a
mango.
good name. Let's just get that all figured out. Do you want a collar or anything?
Nah, I think he'll be good with that one.
Alright, chip or nah? That'll be a little bit, but
Not right now.
alright, well, I hope that you have a good day and I'll see you whenever you decide the next checkup is. You have a good
Well-
day, Wolf.
You too. Have a nice night.
Thanks.
and he takes the kitty home and goes to buy kitty stuff and then goes to find whoever he needs to fill out the paperwork with.
Alright, you find the owner of the apartment complex who does not have a name. So, you meet the apartment guy, and you've probably met him once or twice just because he's like, oh, hello, you live in my apartment complex now. Nice to meet you. He's a fairly dark-skinned man who's probably in his, like, very early 30s. And his name... I think his name's gonna be Connor.
Alright.
How do you bring this up to Mr. Connor?
Howdy. Pets are allowed in the apartment complex, right? But I would need to fill out paperwork for that, right?
Yes, of course. Let me get that. And he kind of ruffles around in his desk that exists, apparently. And he pulls out the paperwork and he's like, yeah, just, fill this out for me and get you all situated. I mean, I think this is a fairly pet-friendly establishment, just as long as you don't have like 100 cats or anything like that.
Just the one right now.
Alright, well, here you go. You can fill out the
Thank you.
paperwork. And then he's like,
Thank
alright,
you.
you're all good. Just make sure you get that litter box and you clean it, because sometimes people will forget, and on occasion it can make the whole apartment complex smell, and we don't like things like that.
I'll keep that in mind. I'll take good care of my cat.
Good, alright, you have a good day.
You as well. Bye. And he goes home and he takes care of his cat.
Wolf has achieved
Cat number one.
Mango.
Cat number 1, Mango.
Yes. Is there anything else anyone wants to do on this fine day? Or shall we skip to dinner?
I don't know.
I guess
I have
we're-
nothing, so skip to dinner. Let's go.
We want to skip to
Boss
dinner?
does not leave their room until dinner time.
So it's dinner, and Grandma Joan has made a fairly nice meal because, you know, there's guests over. I mean, she makes nice meals like almost every night. Like, almost every night is a family meal because she's one of those people, and it's great. Like, sometimes you'll have nights where literally the table is just filled with leftovers that she's reheated in various ways. She knows how to reheat leftovers, so they're amazing. She's a wonderful grandma. So,
I heard meowing.
what you're having
I don't think that was
tonight
fine.
is some delicious meatloaf with
The loaf of meat.
the loaf of meat with mashed potatoes and peas and probably various other things as well. She made like a whole ass pie, like there's an apple pie. She wanted to make a good impression because she knows what almost happened with Damian and Seuss, and she wants to make him feel welcome.
Briar has taken the minimal accepted amount of food possible. He is anxious and he does not eat well when he's anxious.
So yeah, at the table is Grandma Joan, Seuss, Damian, Briar, Evie, and Moss. It's just the 6 of you tonight.
And Moss would recognize Damian.
This is true. This is probably like the first time you've seen him. You saw him when you entered the dining room.
Yeah, so when I entered, I immediately saw him and I stopped in my tracks and I kind of looked between him and Briar.
Briar is
But I didn't
not
say
looking
anything.
at him. Briar looks very tense and not very happy.
I take the hint and do not mention anything, but I nod at Damian.
Damien just kind of looks at you and then he nods very slightly back. So
If
it is.
Briar happened to have looked up at that point, he would have been very pissed, but kept it internalized because he's not going to blow up in front of his little sister,
Oh
who
yeah,
is also
Noella's
at the table.
Yes, I forgot Noella. Noella's also at the table. She is small and she probably has like a
she's not
booster-
allowed to eat.
No, she probably has like a
She's
booster
not
seat.
invited.
And her plate, on the other hand, is at least twice as big as Briar's. She may be tiny, but she eats a fuck ton of food. So her plate is at least twice the size of Briar's. She's eating enough to make up for his stuff.
And Briar, like, finishes his food pretty quickly, and he
like,
kind of just
during
sits
this whole
there
time,
for a
like,
moment.
like Seuss and Damien are like chatting and laughing, and Grandma Joan is interjecting sometimes, and like they're having a good time, like, you know, catching up and enjoying each other's company.
Briar waits until his food is done, and he just takes a deep breath, and he's waiting for, like, a lull in the conversation. Just
Yeah,
even
they
just
kinda-
a moment.
Yeah, they kind of stop and they start eating their food for a bit.
Damien?
Yes?
Sorry for earlier. I thought you were someone I knew, and when you didn't know me, well, I acted poorly, I guess. So I don't know how anyone else would deal with seeing someone they loved who had left them without an explanation or a goodbye and then seemingly had forgotten they even existed. And sure, it's been over a year. But to spend half a year with someone and then not even recognize them the next time you see them, even a year later, well, then again, time is the only thing you can't steal or lie to, so why would it matter to a liar and a thief? Well, it doesn't matter, though. You were never who I thought you were anyways, so, I should just, leave you be and stop talking. And then he just gets up and he just leaves through the back door.
Before you get out the door, Damian says, well, yeah, I mean, I think I'd find it pretty hard to forget a face like yours. And that's all he says.
Briar just shakes his head and just leaves. He just goes and sits on the back porch.
No one follows, unless Evie or Moss follows.
Evie was watching this unfold while eating her food.
Moss is kind of shocked and confused, but stays in place.
Do they say anything?
No.
Okay.
I don't know what to say.
Everyone kind of finishes their dinner in kind of slightly awkward silence because what the fuck was that?
Yeah, that's fair.
Noella looked slightly confused, but not maybe super confused. Like, she's still confused, but not as confused as you think a 5-year-old would be about this situation. Is there anything else you guys are doing at dinner?
I will just say, does the back porch have like stairs like the front porch, or is it
Yes,
just like
it has steps like the front porch.
Briar is sitting on the steps and just quietly crying.
Poor lady.
He is just staring at the ring at his hand, like it is burning his hand, but he can't take it off.
Anyway, you wanted to do something, Evie.
What?
You wanted to do something?
Right. Evie kind of looks over at Grandma Joan and kind of, hey, Grandma.
Yes, dear? Fuck. Anyway, shush, ignore that. Grandma Joan does not say fuck. That was me fucking up her voice. Yes, dear?
Fuck.
Evie.
Sorry. I forgot there was a child.
There is a child.
I'm sorry. Right, okay.
Evie, did you have a question for me?
Yeah, sorry. Right, what I was saying. So an old friend of mine texted me the other day, and I wanted to know if they happened to come into town at some point, if we could perhaps have them over or something.
From Junkin and she's like, yes, of course, that's fine. The more the merrier.
Okay, great, thanks.
Do you have any information about this friend of yours?
Her name is Zoe. I haven't heard from her in a while.
So lots of rekindling friendships here, huh?
Yeah.
Yes, that would be just fine.
Great, alright, thanks.
Dinner is now kind of just everyone's eating in silence as Briar mysteriously stormed out.
Yep, Evie just awkwardly stops talking.
So,
Like he didn't storm out. It wasn't like an angry leaving. He was just kind of like, okay, I'm done. He just walked up and calmly left the room.
But
like 10 foot.
Grandma
calm.
Joan could 100% tell that Briar was tense, and so that was kind of like, oh, fuck. And also, you went out the back door. You didn't leave like through the living room to go to your room. You went outside.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's after dinner. Is Briar still out on the porch?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's like after dinner, is what you said?
Yeah.
And Briar's still outside.
Mhm.
Evie's gonna go outside.
You find him staring at his ring and crying.
Oh.
Like not like hard sobbing, but just like the tears are rolling. He's quiet, but
Yeah.
very, very upset.
Evie kind of sits down on the stairs, like a couple feet away from him.
He kind of like notices you and kind of like hiccups a little and tries to dry his eyes.
Evie kind of looks over to you and smiles lightly. You okay? Well, that's kind of obvious. Sorry.
I thought maybe he'd drop the act, but no, I don't know what I should have expected.
I know. I got it. I don't know your guys' history, but I can tell that you're hurt by whatever happened or of what's happening right now. And I'm sorry about that.
It's probably my own fault. Shit like this usually is.
No, I don't think it is. I doubt it's your fault. And anyway,
I had been the one who told him to leave. It's not his fault he changed his mind.
Yeah.
I just wish I knew why he changed his mind, why he couldn't have at least said goodbye.
sometimes people leave without saying anything. That's how it works sometimes. If you get hurt, it's just what happens. Some people leave, some people stay, and some people come back. But something you can learn from that is that the most important people will stay. I don't know, sorry.
No, you're good. Thanks, Evie.
Yeah.
Does Evie get up and leave, or are you gonna sit there for a bit?
She's gonna sit there for a bit. She's not gonna leave Briar.
I'm just gonna sit there for a bit.
Yeah.
That's valid. It's adorable.
She's gonna sit for a bit.
When she does leave, though, Briar's gonna. I think he's gonna want to take a walk just around the farm again.
He's He's valid. That entire scene was me spitballing. I have no idea what I was talking about.
That was very good.
Oh, you were so good.
Oh,
That
you
was
so
such a.
good,
That
dude.
was so wholesome.
Evie got so deep there, and I was like, oh, small bean, so good, adorable, make it good with the Briar. Okay, so, after a while, Seuss and Damian kind of make their way out to the barn, and Briar, as you're walking around, you can probably hear them, like, chit-chatting and, like, laughing and stuff as they're walking over to the barn to hang out for the night. Seuss did, before dinner started, extend an invitation to the three of you. If you guys wanted to come hang out, they're gonna have a movie night.
Oh, fun.
Is there like any sort of like fence near-ish to the barn?
I mean, the entire property of Grandma Jones is fenced in, but no, not like directly by the barn.
Because Briar wants to sit by the barn. But he's
There's
like,
a stump. There'll be a stump there.
he'll sit on the stump, but he can't go in. He just can't.
He's valid.
Okay, well, they're not at the barn yet. They're still walking up.
Yeah, I think he probably would have walked over and like he's just sitting on the stump, just looking up at the sky.
Okay, so they walk up and they're kind of stop, and Susie's like, oh, hey Briar, you gonna join us for movie night?
I don't know.
You okay?
I'm fine. Don't worry about me.
You don't seem fine. Do you want to talk about it?
He kind of just looks over at Damian.
He just kind of looks at you
No.
quizzically. Okay, well, we're gonna go inside for movie night.
Have fun.
Yeah, and they go inside, and Damian follows behind.
Briar just continues just looking up at the sky.
You can hear, like, them kind of muttering and chatting a little bit as they, set up a projector to watch their movies on, and you know that Seuss spent, like, hours and hours digging through the house to find, like, pillows and sheets and all sorts of other stuff to make a really comfy area to just sit and hang out and watch movies in.
He's just sitting there.
Okay. And then you hear the sound of the movie start to play.
He really wants to go in, but his thing didn't work, and he's just like, oh, well, Damian doesn't want to be near me, doesn't want to talk to me. I'm not going to fuck with him.
Rip.
At least not with Seuss around.
There probably is a point. I don't know how long Briar is sitting out there.
I honestly think he's going to sit out there until he kind of just nods off.
You could hear the barn door open, and Susie's like, yeah, I'll be right back. Just gotta use the bathroom. And they head over towards the house.
Briar takes a deep breath, and he stands up, and he walks into the barn. Like, Briar's trying to be quiet. He doesn't want Damian to hear him until he speaks.
Damian is, sitting on a bunch of comfy stuff on his stomach, watching or looking at the paused television screen, probably eating some popcorn, and the television screen is directly like when you enter, you can see the television screen, so it's like on the opposite side of the wall as the door.
Briar takes a very soft, quiet breath and just says, Glass?
He kind of turns around and he's like, that's my last name, yes. How do you know that?
Drop the act, Damian. Seuss isn't even here. It's just us. Drop the act.
I really don't know what you mean.
Yes, you do. And like, Briar literally has his phone. He had his jacket on, so he just pulls out his phone and he literally like opens it up, brings it to the photo gallery, has open like a picture of him and Damian. He's like, you may have forgotten, but I didn't. Okay, just if you've really forgotten, then fine, I'll leave.
What?
I get that I didn't mean anything to you, but
That isn't me. That's you and someone else. I don't understand why you're showing me these.
That's someone with your exact name and your exact face.
That's not me in those pictures. That's not my face. I don't know how you know my name, but that's not me.
Briar is just getting more and more pissed off, and he's literally just going to shout, just stop lying, and he's going to use magic on him.
What are you going to use?
Oh, damn.
Just
Okay.
use magic, like kind of just like magic influence. Do something other where is it under use magic? Do one thing that's beyond human limitations. He's just going to try and magic him to stop lying.
Okay.
Because he is just so frustrated.
Go
and
ahead.
So angry.
Go ahead and roll plus weird for me. Alright, the magic works without issue. So, you can tell that whatever you did takes hold, and Damian looks a little bit dazed for a second, and he just looks at you, and he says, I'm being serious. That's not me. I don't know you. I just met you today.
How? I don't
And then
understand.
you can hear
How?
someone kind of, you can hear Seuss enter, and they're like, what's going on?
I'm so sorry. I really must have gotten confused. I'll leave you alone. And he just walks away.
And Seuss just
And
kind of looks very confused as you leave the barn.
Briar's not even crying. He doesn't know how to process this. He's just like,
Honestly, neither do I.
I mean, there's only one explanation, is that either whoever is in there is not really Damian, or that the Damian that he knew wasn't Damian. That one of them is like a shapeshifter or something. That's the only explanation he can have, but he doesn't know how he can tell which one was which.
Okay.
Like, he spent half a year with the Damian he knew, but how is he supposed to know? About what time would you say it is?
It's probably like 10:30, 11-ish.
Oof. Would Bob and Martin happen to have each other's phone numbers?
I mean, at this point, probably.
Briar just kind of like looks at his phone. He still has the picture open. He kind of just closes it, opens up his contacts, and after a couple of deep breaths, he presses dial on Martin's phone number.
Okay, it rings for a second, and then it answers, and he says, hello?
Hey, Martin, I know it's late, but I need your help with something. Can I come over?
Yeah, of course. Yeah, come on down.
Thanks. I'll be there in a bit.
Okay.
And he hangs up and he
Good.
starts heading over there.
Is anyone else doing anything at this point, or are you all going to sleep?
Since the only thing Moss does is eat and sleep, I will go to sleep.
Okay, Val.
Yeah.
Is Evie doing anything?
Oh, hold on. I was gonna make her do something that's completely unrelated to everything ever.
That's valid.
Is there anything underneath her window, like a roof part?
Yes, we determined this when you...
Right. Sorry, I forgot.
No, you're good.
Okay. Is there a screen for her window?
Yes, but you can pop it out really easily.
Okay, cool. Evie's gonna pop out the screen and sit on the roof part underneath her window.
Okay. Any particular reason, or just sit there?
Stars.
Okay.
I'm just gonna look at the stars. Just hang out.
You can kind of, as you're sitting there, you kind of see out of the corner of your eye someone like you can see ivy growing up the roof, and then it gets to the top and it forms into a person, and Ivy's there, and she says, "Hey, I forgot the
Ivy.
voice I did for her, so rip." She says, "What's up?"
Oh, nothing. I got a message from Z today.
Oh, awesome. I've been trying to communicate with them, but you know, it's kind of hard when you don't own a phone.
Yeah, I get that.
You just looking at the stars?
They're nice.
Can I sit with you for a bit?
Totally.
Oh, nice. So Ivy comes and she sits next to you, and you guys kind of look at the stars.
Awesome. I love this.
She's like, "Do you know any of the constellations?
I know a couple.
Can you show me? I don't know any of them. I just generally make up my own.
Yeah.
Like that one up there. That one's the bag of treasure, and that one's the ivy plant, and that one's you, and then that one's Z."
I love her. I love her so much.
She's kind of pointing at these various constellations that are, you know, one, you could kind of see it being shaped like a bag. Another one,
Yeah.
it's like
I love her.
Like-
I love her so much.
they kind of look like whatever shape you would associate with you, Z, and Ivy. I don't know what those would be.
Yeah, I love this. This is wonderful.
And you guys kind of sit there and you watch the stars for a while.
Yes, adorable. I love it.
Is there anything else you want to do, or are you just gonna sit and watch the stars? Be adorable.
Evie kind of starts naming off a couple of constellations. I don't know the names off the top of my head, so
Understandable.
we'll just pretend that Evie knows things.
That's valid. So you guys
Yeah.
kind of sit there and you look at the stars, and I think we can probably switch back to Briar.
Yeah,
Go.
that was kind of it.
Yep. All right. So Briar, you're making your way over to Martin's house.
Yup.
So you kind of make it there, and you can tell that his light's on, and you can tell from the way he was talking that you did not wake him up. He was awake,
Briar is shaking like a leaf.
just like me.
And me.
Yes. Okay. So you kind of walk into Martin's yard, and after a couple steps, the door opens because he was expecting you. So when he heard the gate, he knew it was you, and he's like, come on in.
And Briar does.
And he kind of leads you over to sit on the couch, and he says, so what's up?
Martin, how much do you know about shapeshifters or changelings or anything that can take someone's identity, look exactly like them, and have their voice and their name? Because I I think I might be dealing with one, but I don't know if the person that's at the house right now is a changeling or if the person I thought I knew was one, and I don't know what to do. And he literally starts crying. He's like starting to cry. Like he's trying not to cry, but he's starting to cry.
And so are you.
Yeah, that's why.
So he kind of puts a hand on your back and just kind of does that like little scratch thing where it's like the shush 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 scratch, the scratch of trying to calm down, the comfort scratch.
Yes.
So he's like, well, I personally haven't had much dealings with those types of creatures, but I know someone who has. We could go over and see them if you'd like.
Yeah, I just need to know which one is which.
Yeah, let me just make a call. And he
Thank you.
pulls out his phone and he dials a number, and you can hear it kind of ring for a second, and then you can hear a hello, and then he says, hey, I need access to the basement. And you can kind of hear like, yes, Martin, I can do that for you. Just make your way over here and we can get you in there. Thank you. So he kind of hangs up and he's like, all right, let's go. And he stands up and he helps you up and you guys head out the door.
Okay.
And you guys kind of walk down the road, and you walk down the little dirt path that leads to his house, and then you walk past the fire station, and you walk past the donut shop and the ice cream shop and the fire station and the grocery store and the hospital, and then you take a right at the end of the road and you keep walking until eventually you come to the library. And out in front of the library is one of the librarians who I don't know if Briar has met.
I don't know either.
Has Briar been to the library? Because if he's been to the library, he would at least recognize her.
I think he's probably went in once just to check it out.
So, kind of recognizes her. He knows that she's like the main librarian.
It's either Cindy or Patricia. We established
It's-
lesbian
Yeah,
librarians.
it's Patricia. So, she kind of looks and she's like, yes, hello, Martin. This a friend of yours? And Martin nods and he's like, yeah, he needs help with something. And she kind of nods and she's like, is he trustworthy? And Martin nods and is like, I'd say so, yeah. And she nods and then she unlocks.
What's this librarian hiding?
She unlocks the front door and beckons you guys in. You guys go in?
Yeah? I mean,
Alright, so you go
Briar
in the
follows
library.
Martin.
You guys go in the library, and she shuts and locks the door behind you, and she leads you past the check-in counter, which is a big circular counter in like the middle of the room. You go in there, and you notice that there's like a trap door on the floor, and she opens it, and there is a staircase. And you guys, Martin immediately starts walking down the staircase. Do you follow him?
Briar's like trying to keep on Martin's heels.
And then Patricia follows shortly after, and you guys make your way down the staircase, and you enter into the librarian break room. There's tables and some couches and a fridge and a little cooking area. And then you see at the end of the room a kind of blocked off area, like behind some iron bars, that just says banned books. There's like a gate that is locked with a padlock. And Martin walks right over to it, and he just stands there waiting. And Patricia comes over and she unlocks it, and she motions for you guys to head in. You guys head in there, and you follow Patricia as she leads you to one of the corners of the room. And you see that there is an iron door there, like this wrought iron heavy door. And she unlocks it, and then she says, I am just going, this is as far as I'm going to go, but you continue on, and Martin, remember the rules? Martin nods, he's like, yeah, I know. And he turns to
Briar's
Briar.
just
He turns to
looking
Briar.
up at him confused.
He turns to Briar and he says, whatever you see down here, you can't tell anyone else about where you got this information. You can tell
What
them.
the fuck is this librarian hiding?
You can tell them you got it from the library. You just can't tell them specifics, okay?
Okay.
All right, let's go. And he starts heading down and kind of pulls out a flashlight because it's very dark down there. And you guys descend this staircase. And as you descend this staircase, it gets more and more like carved stone and less like it gets less smooth as you go further down. And you eventually come to like an area that opens up a little, but you can't really see past where you are. And Martin just yells out, "Chaos and you can hear it kind of echo throughout. And then, one moment, I must embody the chaos. You just hear, Martin, it's been a while. That's not quite right, but I'll get there. And Martin says, yeah, we need some information about how to tell if someone is a changeling. And you can hear it kind of like, well, I can tell you, but I know you know the rules, Martin. Before I tell you something, you have to tell me something. Martin nods and he's like, yeah, I know. So, what do you want to hear about today? I would like to hear about you. Tell me, Martin, what was it like when you were young? And Martin kind of sighs. And you can tell he doesn't really want to say anything, but he's kind of like...
just looks so confused.
Like, yeah, let me tell you a story. This is the story of a young boy who, he never really had parents, not in the traditional sense, really. When he was born, he was taken in by a group that called themselves the Brotherhood. And he had 5 brothers, although the genderedness of it had all gone away at that point. They were still called the Brothers. And he grew up with these people for a while. His best friend was a girl who was quite a few years older than him, and she ran away. He never saw her again, and then the other two of them got sick, and they died, and their training continued regardless of the dangers that it inflicted. And the other 2 of his brothers also died, although they died in a different way. And then he was the last one. Of the 6 of them, he was the only one left. And then one day, he was told he had a mission. A child had been born. One of a noble family. He was told that she was a seer. He was her guardian. So at the tender age of 8, he made his way with his master to meet with this family and meet the young girl who he would protect with his life. And Chaos kind of interjects and they say, tell me, what was his name? Martin sighs and he says, he didn't have one, he hadn't earned it yet. And then he continues and he says, when he met the young girl, he knew that this was what was supposed to happen. He was destined to protect her, and that's what he did. And they grew up together for many years until finally it was time for him to gain his name. And she gave it to him. And that's how I got my name, Chaos. My name is Martin, and my best friend and sister gave it to me. And then there's kind of a quiet moment, and you hear them say, thank you, Martin. That's exactly what I wanted to know. And then you can hear something shift in the darkness, and suddenly you see a large reptilian face, and you are met with a very large blue dragon.
What the
fuck?
Dragons?
Who just says, hello there. And then the room kind of lights up, and you can see this dragon in her full form, and you can see all around her are just books. Piles and piles of books. And
Briar is literally just like shaking like a leaf, like just like eyes wide, mouth slightly agape, just like, oh god, there's a dragon right in front of me. Like he went from having like a really soft expression at Martin of being like, oh, he probably doesn't want me to hear this, and I feel a little bit bad, but also like feeling soft because, oh, story, to, oh fuck, there's a fucking dragon, oh god.
Alright, you guys ready to resume?
Yeah.
I think I am going to do a little switchy switch, and we're gonna do another dream scene with Moss.
Yay, thank god.
Oh god.
So yeah, you have
Information!
information time. No! So you have 2 options here. Well, they're the only options. You get to decide which order you visit them. The ship and the island.
Let's go to the ship first.
Alright, so you wake up in that cathedral again, and it's the same as it's always been. It never really changes, but you see, just out of the corner of your eye for a split second, one of those robot things kind of like exit.
Cool.
And you make your way over to the ship, and you see a very, like, ornate, decorated pirate ship that seems to be mid-battle with a ship that just doesn't exist anymore. So much time has has passed, that the entirety of whatever ship they were firing at is gone. The only remnants are the crew members who seem to be frozen in the air, one of which was touching a cannon. So there's like a person touching a cannon just frozen in the air. And you can tell that they were mid-battle, but the cannonballs or whatever else they were firing at each other have long since fallen away. You can try. You haven't been able to get up into the ship, but you figure there probably is a way up there if you wanted to try that.
Okay. Yeah, let's try getting onto the ship.
Okay. I would have you roll just to investigate a mystery. So roll plus sharp, which is a 2.
Yay!
You got it. You rolled a 12. You kind of look around and you can see that on the side of the ship is a rope. It would take a little bit to climb, but you could fairly easily get over there because there is, like, you rolled a 12, so you can tell that you can easily make it over to that rope to climb up the ship. If you wanted, you just have to get a little bit wet. And this isn't like a cove, so it's not like the middle of the ocean.
Yeah, I would assume. Yeah, let's climb up the rope.
Alright, you climb up the rope and you see the crew members kind of, mid-battle. You see a red tiefling woman with yellow eyes standing there kind of shouting orders, and you can kind of assume that she's the captain. And you see a very short gnome person with no shoes on, and he has like a accordion strapped to his back, and you kind of assume maybe that's the reason why the entire ship isn't decayed, is because this gnome is touching it, and you figured out anything that's touching something living will not decay. So you kind of guess that the fact that this gnome is touching the ship has kept it from decaying. And you see someone, like a blue-skinned person, kind of like they have their hands out like they were casting something, but you can't tell what it was anymore. And there's just several other crew members scattered about this ship. You can continue exploring if you would like. You're just on the top of the deck.
I would like to continue exploring the ship.
Alright, so you walk around the ship and you find the door to what you assume is the captain's quarters, and then like a trap door that leads downstairs.
Let's go captain's quarters.
Alright, you enter the captain's quarters, and it looks relatively clean, and there's like a map on a table that has like a dagger stuck into it, like, this is where we're going, stab. And there's like bits of paper scattered about, and a relatively comfy looking bed. And you kind of look around and you can kind of tell that probably 2 people share this room. It's not like just the captain, like the captain shares this room with someone, and there is only one bed.
And they were roommates.
Oh my god, they were roommates. No, oh my god, they were crewmates. So, you can kind of ruffle around here if you'd like.
Can I look at the map?
Alright, take a look at the map, and it's like a map of an island area. You can tell it's not really where you are, but it's kind of, wherever they were traveling. And it's like the dagger is stuck right in the middle of them.
Do I recognize the map, or is it completely unfamiliar?
It is completely unfamiliar.
Can I check out the papers that are scattered around?
Yeah, the papers are lots of wanted posters, and you kind of look at them and you can tell that they are all the crewmates. Like, there's several copies of the captain's, and you learn that her name is Xylea Seafable, and she is a very wanted pirate who killed some members of the Navy by the looks of it, and has been
Good for her.
Yes, a pirate for quite a while, and you can tell, just judging from the sheer amount of wanted posters, she is the most wanted person on the crew. Now, pardon me, I must check the other names of some of the crew members. One moment.
Sounds good.
So you see one that is for, it's the blue-skinned person you saw outside, and it says Trenna, and it says they are a Genasi, and that they are very capable of using magic. And you see another one of that same gnome first person you saw outside, and it says Lindren, and he's a gnome. They want the gnome because they know that he's connected to her ship. And you see another one for someone named Bandira. You have not seen her on the ship, but she is she doesn't look that intimidating. She's kind of small-ish, but you can tell she has muscle. She's kind of tan skin and vigilo, however you pronounce it.
Vitiligo?
Vitiligo, yes. And the gnome, he's kind of short and kind of stout, and he has like probably pretty dark skin with like this very uncharacteristically bright, like white yellowy hair. And that's the biggest information that you gather from those. You can also see a very old letter that appears to be from Xylea's mother, telling her that she's proud of her and that she knows she'll do the right thing. And you can tell that it is very old. It's at least it's several years old, and it has been very carefully taken care of.
Do I know what happens if I sleep here?
You don't.
Sleep?
Take a nap.
I don't
Take
think
it
I
up and
fall asleep.
score first.
Why?
Up though is my problem.
Hmm?
I don't want to wake up. I want to keep exploring.
Understandable.
Like if going to sleep in my dream wakes me up, then I don't want to wake up yet.
Well, there would only be one way to find out,
True.
but it is up to you.
Let's go to sleep
All right.
because I can have another dream later, probably.
Yeah. So as you kind of go to that bed, it's very comfy. You see one of
Fuck
those robots, and it kind of like rolls right up to you and places something in your hands. You gonna look at it?
Yes. What did it put in my hand?
It is a crystal from that little pool. And then you wake up in your bed and Grandma Jones, and there is something in your hand.
Oh, shit!
You look at what's in your hand.
It's in my hand.
It's the same crystal that robot just gave you.
Oh. Well, hell.
Well, now you know it's all real.
Yeah.
Is it? I'm so confused.
End of scene. We can go back to Briar and Martin and their dragon shenanigans.
Oh, God.
So, Briar, you are looking upon this very large, light blue dragon surrounded by a horde of books. And, like, you're on this platform, and you know Merlin? You've watched Merlin, yeah?
Yeah, it's been
kinda
years, but yeah.
It's kind of like that area where you have a little platform, and then the rest of it's, like, really far down, and it's like a cave.
Ah, the dragon is down in the cave, not particularly close to it?
No, it's up. It's
Oh,
like
it's up.
up on a platform looking at you guys, and like its face is fairly close.
Briar's literally just like shaking like a leaf, eyes wide, mouth agape. He's like, Martin, like his brain has stopped functioning. He's just like,
Martin kind of looks over at you and is like, maybe I should have explained before we got down here.
That's a dragon. Dragons are real.
Yeah,
Okay.
This is Chaos. Hello there. You are Briar, yes?
Yeah.
So, Briar, won't you tell me why you are here?
I need to know how to determine if someone is a changeling.
Interesting. Let me see. One moment. And they kind of like dive down into the books, and they disappear for a second in the amount of books that there is, like filling this cave. Like there are so many books, like of various ages. Like you can tell there's some really old books, and there's like one that looks incredibly new. And one thing you notice is that none of them are falling apart. They all seem to be very well taken care of, even though they're kind of strewn about this cave.
Magic book
Cavern.
cave.
And she comes back up with a rather large book and is like, yes, this one might be helpful, but, let me see. And they start, flicking through it, and they're like, yes, interesting. Well, changelings. I'm still not doing her voice right, but fuck it.
It's closer.
Changelings are, they are generally fae that have replaced a child when they are very young, and are generally agents to try and discover what is happening. but they are weak to silver. Silver will burn if it touches them. They would have to like several kinds of fae. If you pour a pile of, say, salt or rice or sugar, they will have to stop and count every single little grain. Those are a couple ways. Oh, I was wrong. Actually, it's iron. Iron is what they don't like. Silver is werewolves. I don't know why I got that confused. So, those are a couple ways. If iron burns them, or if someone were to accidentally spill some sugar, they would have to count it. A couple other ways is like suspicious fae-like behavior, the ability to shapeshift, or the desire to trick, and other such fae-like attributes.
Would any of them happen to, be known for habits of replacing adults rather than children? Because it's an adult that I am afraid has been replaced, not a child.
She kind of thinks for a second, and she says, It's a possibility, but I myself have not heard of that.
Are there other types of shapeshifters? And I said changeling, but just shapeshifters in general. I'm just worried someone I know is not actually someone I know.
She kind of closes the book and drops it into the pile, and she says, Well, most shapeshifters cannot hold their forms forever. They generally have to drop them for a little while, or in the case of werewolves, they only have their transformations on the full moon unless they get really powerful. In that case, they can transform whenever they like, but for only a short amount of time. So if you were to pay attention and watch this individual, you would probably notice that they get a little sluggish and a little tired, and then eventually their form would drop without them meaning for it to.
All right. Thank you.
I hope I was helpful, crime boy.
What?
Nothing.
Briar looks so confused and distressed.
She smiles, and then all the lights go out. And Martin's like, time to go.
Okay, yeah, let's go.
And you guys make your way back up the stairs, and Patricia is waiting, and she locks the door and leads you guys out, and then locks the front door of the library. What are you gonna do now?
I guess I should go home. Thank you so much, Martin.
Yeah, of course, anytime.
I'll see you around. Hopefully next time I'm not as much as a mess as I usually am.
Yeah, don't worry about it. It's fine. I've dealt with plenty of things like this. So if you ever need my help, don't hesitate to call.
Thank you. Have a good night.
You too. And he walks off.
And Briar walks back to the house. Oh, and he's like, he wants to start dealing with it right now, but also it is really late, and he is real tired. And also he needs to check on his sister, because he's a little bit terrified.
Probably about 11:30.
So he kind of just sneaks into his room. Noella is asleep in the bed, hopefully.
I will say Grandma Joan probably brought a separate bed down for Noella, one that she had from when Seuss was young, and set that up in your room. And you see that Noella's actually like asleep on the floor on top of, she's surrounded by many papers that have all been scribbled upon.
Briar kind of like takes one quick look at the scribblings. Is there anything, is it just scribblings, or do these look like drawings?
There are a couple that look like drawings. The most notable is a redrawing of that favorite picture she showed you, and you can see it looks a lot the same with a couple figures actually added. One of them is standing next to Evie, and the other one is kind of standing slightly further away from the group, like they're not sure if they should be there.
Oh.
Whereas everything else looks the same.
But Damian is still in the picture.
Yes.
Another
one is another drawing of that kind of swirly gray oval shaped thing, and then the other one is a drawing of a dragon.
Oh, like under his breath he's like, oh shit, just like very quietly.
She kind of goes like, just like sleepy. noises.
Briar carefully picks her up and goes to tuck her in her bed.
When you pick her up, her head immediately goes to your shoulder and like nuzzles a little bit.
Yeah, so he just tucks her into the bed, gives her a little kiss on the forehead.
And as you walk back over to your bed, you hear night night,
Good night, Noella.
and you hear some very, very light snoring.
Oh. Okay, well, I guess Briar just gets... He's so tired, he's not even getting out of his dress. He doesn't even care. By the way, he has been wearing his dress the entire day.
Yes.
I established at the end of the last session that he had been wearing the dress to make a good impression on the new person. And then, oh no!
Guest. Yeah, the new guest. Absolutely, a new guest. Okay. So,
He just goes to bed. He's like, okay, my sister is safe. He might put away her stuff just so that it's not just all over the floor, but
Okay.
he's going to bed.
Thank you for listening to Rolls of Fate. I hope you all enjoyed. Quite an interesting predicament our hunters have themselves in. Is this Damian really a changeling? Or has Briar just gotten into his own head? I suppose we'll find out soon enough. Have a good day.